Podiums, pole positions, victories and Prosecco. On paper, 2023 looks to have been an improvement on last year, with incredible highs. However, the Noale factory will look at the year gone by with perhaps a bittersweet taste in their mouth. For the first time in their history, Aprilia had 4 bikes on the grid. Aleix Espargaro and Maverick Vinales remained in the factory team, but they were joined by Miguel Oliveira and Ralf Fernandez in the RNF team, running 2022 spec RSGPs. Things were looking great for the Italian team. Miguel Oliveira began his new life as an Aprilia rider in front of his adoring home fans, and he was also close to rewarding their support with a podium in the first Tissot Sprint. But a mistake on the final lap left a chorus of drones in the grandstand as he crossed the line in 7th. No matter the result, the signs were looking good for Oliveira. Running in the lead group on the opening laps in the main race, Oliveira's season was arguably unravelled at turn 2 on lap 3 as Marc Marquez blocked the front while braking and careered into the luckless Portuguese rider to the despair of the home fans. The number 88 would miss the following weekend's Argentina GP, but miraculously was relatively okay. The collision left the door open for Maverick Vinales. The Spaniard hunted down champion Bagnaia and would eventually finish second, starting off his 2023 season in the best possible fashion. Things were looking good for the new RSGP, but that would be as good as it got for Aprilia for the time being. Vinales would only score one more top 5 in the following 7 races. Miguel Oliveira's heroic return at Cota showed promise with a 5th place finish, but like Vinales, wouldn't break into the top 5 until the British GP, and Ralf Fernandez found the going tough coming from the KTM onto an Aprilia. That left the captain, Aleix Espargaro, to carry the Aprilia flag before the summer break. Despite suffering his first race crash since the 2021 Algarve GP at Cota, Aleix showed great speed and proved that the RSGP was up for the fight as he claimed his 4th MotoGP pole position with a stunning lap at Jerez. However, when the lights went out for the Tissot Sprint and the race, it quickly became apparent that the machine lagged in its start device. That being said, despite a DNF in the sprint, Aleix showed promising signs in the race and would eventually finish 5th, kickstarting a run of 4 top 6 results in the next 5 rounds, including a double podium at the Cathedral of Speed, Assen, before the summer break. Despite a shaky start, Aprilia were going happy to the holidays. When MotoGP returned after a 5-week break, the Noale factory came out of the blocks not with a whimper, but with a bang. Aleix Espargaro snatched victory on the final lap of the British GP, redemption for 1 year earlier when he suffered a high-sided FP4 which cracked his right heel on a weekend where the Spaniard looked odds-on favourite. But it got better as Miguel Oliveira finished a season-best 4th, just ahead of Maverick Vinales. The Aprilias really came into their own on the damp track, and it got even better for the Italian factory as Ralf Fernandez finished in 10th, his best result in MotoGP at the time, and the first time 4 Aprilias had finished inside the top 10. Vinales and Espargaro just broke into the top 10 in Austria, but at the next round, Aleix Espargaro's home Grand Prix, a track where he and brother Paul had grown up just a stone's throw away, it was time for Aleix Espargaro, Maverick Vinales and Aprilia to create history. Aleix, eager to right the wrong of 2022, just missed out on pole position, but that didn't deter the plucky Catalan. Espargaro followed Bagnaia in the early laps of the Tissot Sprint before making a decisive pass into turn 1, crossing the line for his first ever Tissot Sprint victory, and to make things even sweeter, it was a double podium with Vinales in 3rd. But it didn't stop there. Sunday, there was a sense of anticipation and tension in the air that we could witness something special. Aprilia led from lights out. Vinales took charge, chasing his first victory since the 2021 Qatar GP and aiming to become the first rider to win with 3 manufacturers in the MotoGP era. Top Gun looked to have Espargaro covered, especially after Aleix made a couple of mistakes following his teammate. But this wouldn't stop Aleix. He closed the gap and with 4 laps to go made his move and took the lead to the adoration of his home fans. And this time he didn't celebrate a lap too soon. He held on to take perhaps the sweetest win of his career ahead of Vinales in a first ever Aprilia 1-2. Aleix was then joined on the top step of the podium by his kids, Max and Mia. They soaked in the cheers of the fans in a story taken right out of a Hollywood blockbuster. By this time, the RSGP was known as a bike that was perfect when track grip was at a premium, as shown with their speed in Silverstone and Montmello, and their riders were gelling with the bike in these iffy conditions. However, as MotoGP went on to the flyaways, the season began to unravel for Aprilia. Aleix would only score one more top 5 result at the rain-soaked Japanese GP, while Maverick Vinales just missed out on victory in Mandalika. Despite a 5th and 6th in Montmello and Misano, Oliveira's season tailed off before another injury put him out of the last 2 rounds after colliding with Aleix Espargaro on lap 1 in the Qatar Tissot Sprint. This, in turn, gave Aleix an injury in which he'd require off-season surgery to a small crack in his fibula, but he held off Vinales by 2 points to finish 6th in the standings. Perhaps it was Raul Fernandez that caught everyone's attention in the final couple of races, as the young Spaniard began to show his speed in practice and eventually backed it up with a career best 5th place at the season finale in Valencia. A fitting way to end the season, as it was announced after the Valencia GP weekend that the RNF team wouldn't be competing in 2024 before the Trackhouse racing team, best known for its exploits in 4 wheels, was announced as taking over the team a week later. Aprilia can be proud of their achievements in 2023, but they will know that there could have been more. The RSGP was a step up over its predecessor, but it had some flaws that the talented group of people back in Noale will be working on to iron out for the new season. And 2024 could be a new dawn for MotoGP's plucky underdogs.
To see more of the biggest MotoGP season ever, click here to subscribe.